Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Doing another movie review. How I basically do these movie reviews is actually I just sit here and I kind of just talk. I mean, it's not really scripted at all. It's just me talking, being myself. That's pretty much what my movie reviews are. So, I mean, if you're into that, then that's absolutely awesome. I'm so fucking glad you guys like my reviews. And, go check out my Terrifier review. Just did that one. But this is for the original The Evil Dead. Yeah, that's right, man. I love this movie. It's one of those movies, I think, I go back and forth between this one and the remake on which one's my personal favorite of the franchise. I know in my ranking I actually made the Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn number 2, but it goes back and forth like a lot. But I just think, I think Evil Dead 2 is probably a better made movie, but the Evil Dead is a cult classic, right? It's phenomenal. So basically, a group of friends decide to go out into the middle of the woods, just kind of just get out of the city, wherever they came from, just to get a good little getaway. And they go out to the middle of the woods to a cabin. That cabin's pretty, broken down. Not really. I mean, it's not in horrible condition, but it's in creepy condition. That's what I'll say. Creepy condition cabin that they go out into the middle of the woods and just have a nice time. They make dinner. They have drinks. They just talk and have fun. And then they come across the basement, the cellar, I should say. And in the cellar, they come across a old videotape recorder and a book. And, they decide to play the videotape or the recordings, and it reads off a demonic passage from a demonic book that raises the demons around from the force around them to come to life and try to kill all these fuckers off, possess them and kill them off. And it's a lot of fun. Yeah, the acting is really, really, really bad at points, but it's just a part of the experience, in my opinion. It really just adds to it. I think it actually gives it more of an identity, makes it more hokey, makes it more fun, makes it a little bit more memorable. The Evil Dead remake to me was at least the remake to me. They went to a serious route. They wanted to do a serious movie, but it actually just turned out to be a really typical kind of everyday horror movie, but with Evil Dead slapped on it. And don't get me wrong, it's actually better than most of the typical day horror movies today, but, it had that vibe of just a typical everyday horror movie. Very modern, The Evil Dead is its own identity. You really can't take anything away from the original Evil Dead. Like, there's only going to be ever one fucking Evil Dead movie that has its own fucking slap of flavor. Like, it's beautiful. It's a masterpiece in its own right. So, when these kids decide to read from the book, or they don't read from the book, but the passages read from the recording that they decided to play. The girl who hit Bruce Campbell's sister in the movie, she's like saying that you turn it off and stuff because she's already feeling uncomfortable as is. She does not want that shit said out loud, right? And then when they say that when the chant gets said like for the third time, a tree breaks through the window and she screams and leaves the room. Now everybody kind of has that little bit of a tense tension. I want to say. I apologize. I'm taking a drink of water really quick. But, yeah, tension's risen. She's pissed off at everybody because they decided, we want to listen to this because, ooh, spooky. So she goes out. She thinks she hears something outside. And, first off, red flag. If you hear something outside, you don't go towards it. And that's exactly what she does. She decides, no, I'm going to go see what this is about. I heard you in the cellar. And she's just calling out for this thing. And yeah, it does not end well. She goes out to the middle of the fucking woods. I don't know what she was thinking. That would be a good idea. No one in today's right mind would say, oh yeah, I'm going to go check out in the middle of the woods to see who that was. If you think there's somebody calling you to join you out in the middle of the woods, first off, you don't go out in the middle of the woods. You tell your fucking peers and you say, let's get the fuck out of here. There's probably a cult outside. So she goes out in the middle of the woods, and she keeps calling out to this thing, I heard you in the cellar, and all of a sudden, she starts hearing crackling off in the distance, and, oh, look at that, trees are falling over, something's actually coming towards her. And we probably take part in the most awkward scene of the movie, and that is when she, trips, and the plants, well, no, she doesn't trip, the plants start coming to life, and then they technically rape her in the middle of the woods. It's a very random scene. Didn't really scare me at all. It just was it was awkward. Like, it was just one of those, it's like, I don't know what I'm really watching. The remake actually, this is almost like becoming a comparison video, but I'm actually trying not to. But at least, the few things that the remake did get right was actually the scene in the woods where the tree or the demon possesses her by, spitting up something and then it goes up her. In this one, it's just trees raping her. So it really doesn't make much sense. You could argue that it's actually a possession scene, but it didn't come off that way at first. So she gets back to the cabin. She's all hysterical. She's screaming about how the Woods attacked her. The Woods, they came alive, Ashley. The Woods did this themselves, and she's all hysterical, freaking out and stuff. Ash decides, he agrees that we're going to drive her to town so she can stay at a hotel or a motel or something. And they get in the car, and the car doesn't start, so she's like, it's not going to let us leave. I know it's not going to let us leave. And then the car starts, and they drive down the road. Now you know when shit gets real, when the bridge is gone. It's gone completely. And now they realize they're stuck. And actually, probably one of the better scenes of the movie is where actually she's like screaming at him and stuff, and like grabbing him by the jacket, and then she falls on the ground in front of the car, and the headlights in the background. I actually thought that was a pretty damn emotional, pretty damn good scene in a horror film. And then we cut to they're back at the cabin. We cut straight to that, and all of a sudden, the two girls are playing cards. They're guessing they're trying to see if someone's psychic or something. And then all of a sudden, the younger sister gets up, and she's possessed by a demon, and she says the famous line, "One by one we'll take you, and you're all going to die tonight," and stuff like that. And she drops to the ground, and then another fucking awesome scene is when she takes the fucking pencil and shoves it right into the back of her heel. And it looks so fucking real and so good. Those effects were fucking spot on for the time, and it's like, it looks painful. The screams, the reactions, every time when these people get hurt, they're doing one hell of a good job on acting, like seriously. And sometimes they weren't even acting. Actually, most of the time, they were getting hurt because there was no stunt doubles. So you had to deal with it. Like seriously, if someone like Bruce Campbell got shoved into the fucking shelves and the shelves come toppling down on top of him, that was a real shelf and it came tumbling down on top of him. Like you just some certain things you had to deal with back then. And it added a lot to it, to be honest. So, yeah, the visual effects, they play a giant part in this movie's identity. And, when she's getting stabbed in the back of the heel, she gets kicked down into the cellar, and the makeup starts turning more into a monster, a demon. It looks pretty damn good for the most part. Some of them, here and there, but most of them are looking pretty damn good, for especially, because they decided they do something with the eyes where it's just a plain white eye, and then they add like red around the eye, and their skin starts turning to like a pale blue. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff, and you gotta appreciate it for what it is, and it does help make its identity, as I've said. Sometimes the makeup can be a little bit too overdone, in my personal opinion, but the visual effects towards the end of the movie, pretty much the entire movie is Ashley fighting off each person when they become... everybody starts turning into demons, and then Ashley, whoever's left, starts having to fight, whoever got possessed. And Scotty, probably the worst character in the movie, in my opinion. I just could not get behind Scotty. His acting was god-awful. He was just cringy. He's a dick. I mean, there's just so much stuff about Scotty I did not like. But the scene where he comes back after saying, she's your girlfriend, you take care of her, because the girl who got stabbed in the back of the heel is laying in a bed in the back room because, you can't be walking on that thing. So he's like, she's your girlfriend, you take care of her. I already had an axe off my girlfriend, so I have no reason to stay here anymore. So he leaves, and then comes back like 5 minutes later with like a fucking piece of wood in his stomach, and his face is all tore up. I mean, the makeup looks fucking spot on, beautiful, gorgeous makeup visual effects. And every time he screams at Ash saying we're all gonna die, and then he starts cringing, like he starts gasping for air and shit, it looks fucking painful. He is doing a great job here. Every actor, when they're just acting, just reading lines from the script, are pretty, it's passable. It's bad though, but it's passable. But when they're really in pain, they're fucking doing a good job, because you really feel it. A scene where he fucking closes his mouth and the blood starts pouring down out of his mouth, pretty good shit. And he eventually dies off, and then now it's left to Ashley to finish everything off. Even his girl who got stabbed in the heel, she comes back as a demon and starts chanting. She's probably the most obnoxious demon in the entire movie. She's having to sing the songs and everything. We're coming to get you, all that stuff. And I'm not saying it's still a part of the experience, so I don't have no problem with it. But she is obnoxious, and I think that's what they were going for. You really want to see Ash knock the fuck out of her, and he does at some points. But he can't pull the trigger, he can't do it, he can't shoot his love, So eventually Ash actually does decapitate his girlfriend. So that does happen, and we do finally get towards the end of the movie, which is Ash versus everybody, pretty much. He's got to fight his sister, he's got to fight Scotty, and he's got to burn the book. So the book is literally the source of all the power. So he has to destroy the book, put an end to all these demons. So the demons start attacking. You know, the girl, his sister sneaks outside, escapes from the cellar, sneaks outside, puts her fist through the door, and shit like that. And now Scotty comes to life and tries to kill Ash too. And it comes in one of the coolest scenes, you know, one of the coolest shots in the movie is actually when Ash takes his thumbs and presses them into Scotty's eyes, you know, because Scotty has him like lifted up off the ground and stuff, and he just sticks his thumbs in his eyes, and, you know, it's a fake head, obviously, but it's a really fun looking scene. And then he pulls the fucking piece of wood out of his gut, and like water like a hose starts shooting out, just pouring all over the floor. Pretty good shit. And then we finally get to the climax of the fight, and he throws the book into the fire, killing the demons. And when the demons start deforming and fucking deteriorizing and all that shit, they start fucking crumbling away. It's pretty damn cool. Yes, it's obviously fake, but the fucking stop motion, the claymation and stuff, it's really fucking awesome looking to watch. It really is. It's like I have so much joy watching that shit unfold every fucking time I see it. Pretty gory, pretty gooey, pretty fun, pretty disgusting stuff, and it's a lot of fun. So that happens. Ash walks out of the fucking cabin. He's beaten it. He's won. But we can't have an happy ending because then the demon shows itself, starts coming through the woods, breaks through the back door, breaks through the front door, sees Ash walking away, and attacks him at the end. And that is where the first movie ends. So, yeah, this movie, it's everywhere. I mean, the acting is horrible, but you learn to love it. You learn to appreciate it. I mean, it kind of does help with its overall vibe. It's just something that, you know, shouldn't have worked. The Evil Dead should not have worked the way it did, but people are loving it more and more. Even, especially today, people are just loving this movie and have claimed it as a cult classic, and I have to agree. It's a fucking fantastic movie. Yes, it has its slow burn moments. I mean, there's moments where you just, you know, I wish you could fast forward through, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it pays off. It really pays off. And it does end up making it a pretty damn cool experience. So, on a grading scale, I'd probably give the Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, I'm going to go with an A-. Because, you know, there's certain things I have a problem with this movie, but it is overall movie I would applaud everybody to go see, especially if you have not seen the Evil Dead. I'm so sorry about my speaking, but if you've not seen the Evil Dead, please do yourselves the honest to God favor. Go check it out, because I guarantee you will have a fun time. Yes, it is not the Ash that you've learned to love from like Ash vs. Evil Dead or Ash, or you know, Army of Darkness or Evil Dead 2. It's not the same Ash. This is the first movie in the franchise, and they had no idea what they were going to do afterwards. So he is a typical guy, but I don't think that's what you go in the movie for. I think you go into the movie to see crazy shit happen, and you do see crazy shit happen. So, guys, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. What is your favorite Evil Dead movie? What was your favorite scene from this original first Evil Dead movie? And please, if you have not, like the video, subscribe, share the video if you want. You know, that's cool. Subscribe to the channel, and guys, as always, I will see you in the next video. Please do take care.